of my crafty friends, welcome to my channel, Pretty Pink Craft Room. Thank you so much for joining me today for another crafty video. So for today, I have the start of a new journal project that I am working on that will have two signatures. So before I actually sew the signatures into the cover of the journal, I figured we could work on some projects to fill up the signatures. So I'll just quickly show you the papers that I'm using. It's a winter themed journal, and this is the first page of the first signature, and then it just has these pages inside that are ready to be decorated, ready to be filled. And then this one is the second one. It's a lot of reds and blues. And so this paper that I am using is a combination of Temu papers that I got from Temu, as well as some leftover papers that I have had from a packet of paper from Graphic 45. So I combined the two because the color schemes are very similar, and use them both to create these two signatures. So for today's project, we're going to be making some tag pockets. Really simple, really quick, really easy. Something that would be an awesome journal insert that we can use inside these signatures wherever you think they may be best for whatever project you may be working on. So I'm going to put these to the side for a moment, and I have some leftover papers from that packet that I'm going to use to cover these tags, and I'll show you quickly how they look. So they're just really awesome pages here that are left over. And again, these papers are from Temu. In case you're interested, you can find them there as well. So in order to create our tag, the first thing we're going to need is three 3¼ by 5 pieces of paper. So couple things. As you can see, I'm using white base paper. That is because these pages, or these papers from Temu, are super thin. You can kind of tell they're very, very thin. If you are using cardstock, it is not necessary to have this white base. Again, I'm only doing the white base because I have such thin papers that I want to use to cover the project, or want to use to cover the tag. So you can definitely skip this step if you don't need to. Also, the measurements I am giving you are based on the size of these signatures. So these signatures measure, let me get a ruler. They measure 4¼ by about 5 7/8. So I designed this project and the measurements based on this. So you can still take the same principal guidelines of the measurements or the project itself, and then adjust the measurements to fit whatever project you may be using for your journal, however big or small your journal may be. So again, I have these 3 pieces of paper that are 3¼ by 5, and I'm just going to cover them with the sheets that I choose from here. So I'm going to just try to choose which ones I want to cover here, and then we'll cover those together. So I've chosen the papers that I'm going to use to cover the tags, and as I was doing the project, I realized that there are two tags that are not fully seen. So I decided that I didn't want to waste some of the paper that I want to use on other possible things I want to create for the journal on tags that are not fully seen. I know that kind of sounds a bit different, but I'll show you what I mean as we go along. So these are the papers that I'm going to use, and you will see in a moment why I just pulled out these two papers that don't really match the rest of the paper pack. So let me go ahead and start covering these, and then you'll actually see why these were used for the other two tags. It'll start to make sense, a little more sense. Hopefully I'm explaining it well enough and you'll be able to see that too. So I'm just covering these these white sheets with the paper here, and I'm just going to turn it over and kind of center this on here. Press it down, let it adhere there. Let me get my bone folder here. Try to do it a little bit better. Okay. And then I am just going to miter these corners and then cover up the sides so that none of that white is actually showing. It's not visible at all. And again, you can completely eliminate this step if you are using cardstock and you don't need, and your paper is sturdy enough that you feel that it can stand alone. You don't have to go through these steps that I'm going through right now. Okay, and then we will seal it all the way. And then do the last here. Okay, so that is fully covered now. So all that I did was pull out my tag punch to create the tag corners. Now, certainly you can create your own template for tags, and you don't need this actual device. So I just use it for, you know, ease and comfort and speediness to have it already done. So this is my first tag. So I'm going to cover these two bases with these pieces of paper, and then I will be back and show you the finished tags that we're using. I've covered all 3 tags, and then I did a little bit of inking around the edges, just a little light inking, and the ink that I'm using is this Distress Oxide Brushed Corduroy, in case you're interested in using that as well. So the reason why I brought up previously that it would be okay for you to use, excuse me, some scrap paper to cover the back 2 tags is that these tags are actually going to be stacked on top of each other. So now you can understand why, if you are trying to preserve paper for other designs you want to do inside of the journal, then it might be a good idea to use some other type of scrap paper here, because it'll be stacked and created as pockets, so it won't be fully seen at all. And I'll show you what I mean. So these first 2, I am going to glue them together to create a side loading pocket. So the pocket will be here on the right side. So I'm only going to glue down these 3 areas here. And I'm just trying to make sure I keep things right side up, because I tend to make things go upside down if I'm not paying attention. So I want to do a thin bead of glue all the way around. The thinner the glue, the thinner the bead of glue, the better your, and you see, I did it anyway. I put the glue on the wrong side. Ay, ay, ay. So let me get that off and hope that does not stick. That's why it's, I've seen other crafters do this where they put their hand in the place where they don't want the glue to be, and that kind of helps them to keep track of everything. I should have done that, and I will probably be doing that going forward, because I've already made that mistake. So I'm going to put that on top here like so, even that out together, and again hope that that side pocket is not glued down from my previous mistake. So there we go. And so now you see you have a side pocket here. I'm going to let that seal for a moment, press it together a little bit better. Okay, and so this is the opening here on the side where we are going to load it up with other things that we will create together too. So for this last tag, we're going to now create a pocket going on the left here. So I'm just going to line it up with the others, and I'm just going to add glue on the 3 sides here so that there is an opening on the left. So Again, just a thin bead of glue all the way around, and then line it up as straight as you possibly can. Great. Perfect. Okay. My other goal in creating this project too was to try to keep it as flat as possible, because as I start to create more things for the journal, I know that it will get extremely bulky. And so I wanted to create something that would give me layers, would look a little bit different from just a regular page and a regular tag, and it would still be relatively flat. So this is really flat still, but we've already created two pockets here, on one on the left, one on the right, and then one on the left here. So it's still trying to adhere. So let me go ahead and add this clip while we do the next part of this. So our next part is to create a base for this to sit on so that it adds more pockets for us to use. So the base sheet that I am using measures 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. And again, I made up that measurement based on what I wanted it to look like with the tag, the border that I wanted it to create with the tag here. So that's how I decided what the base measurements needed to be. So if you're having a different size project, you definitely want to take that into consideration and maybe make something a little bit different. So in order to cover that base, I have brought in a piece of paper that I'm going to use to bring some of those reds in. There's a lot of blue, but I wanted to add a little bit of red. So what I'm going to do with this sheet is I'm just going to cover it the same way we did with the tags. I'm going to cover it completely, and then miter the edges and cover it all from the front. The back won't be seen at all because this is what you will glue down to the journal itself. But I want to make sure this front, this white, is not seen at all. So I'm going to cover that entirely. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. And then I would just want to center this from the back. Thankfully, this page is not directional, so it should not create any difficulties. So I'm going to just miter those corners like I've been doing with the tags to eliminate a lot of the bulk. Crease it down to create those sharp edges. Let's see. It's not all the way down. That's why. Oh, now it's down. Okay. Let's make sure. Okay, I think that's a bit better. Just want to make sure it's straight on there and that it's not crooked. Okay, I think that's a bit better. Should be straight. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and glue down the long sides first. And then do the shorter sides. I'm going to use my nails to pinch in some of that edge here. I know you guys have seen me do that before too, or I've seen many videos who do the same thing. So okay. Okay, so that is our base here. We've gotten that completely covered. No whiteness showing there. So the next thing we will do is we will actually adhere this to that base, like so. And then we will actually add additional things on here too, to more things that we can use inside the journal, journaling spots, things like that. I love that layered look of having different things in different places that you can pull out and journal on and things like that. So let's go ahead and actually the first thing we'll do is I just want to make sure this pocket didn't glue shut. Okay, perfect. And then this pocket is open on this side. Perfect. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and punch a hole here. I'm just going to center this the best, just as eyeballing it, center it. Okay, perfect. So when I glue this down onto the base here, I'm only going to be gluing it on 3 sides. So down just the U here, because I want to load things in the top there as well. So let me just add glue on these 3 sides. And then center this on the base like so. Okay. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so now let's work on some of those inserts that are going to go on this side as well as on this side. So for my inserts, what I cut are 2 sheets that measure 6 3/8 by 4. And again, this was based on what I figured out would fit in here pretty easily and be able to pull in and pull out and adjust as needed. So these are the sheets that I have used for that. So what I'm going to do is now pull out some papers to cover it. And the first paper I'm going to use is this one here. I'm just going to cover the full sheet with these papers. I have 2 of them here. I'm going to use both of those to cover it, and then we will be back and I will show you how you can score these and fold them and insert them into the base project. So all I'm going to do now is just add glue onto this white base, and then add the decorative paper on top. So I'll go ahead and cover this entire page. And again, this is going to be one of the inserts inside of the tag pockets. And this insert measures 6 3/8 by 4. So let me turn it over so that I can center it in the right way and try to make it straight as well. Okay. So much glue everywhere too. Gets everywhere. Okay, so that is down onto the decorative paper. So what I did for my project, and again, you know, of course you would decorate the way that fits your preference, but I'm just going to show you the way that I covered these, because my idea was to make this a hidden journal spot, leaving a little bit of the white so that you could journal on it, but still covering it so that all of the white is not showing. So now I'm going to just cut off these edges here. So let me bring in my cutter. And I'm just going to line this up so I can cut it off. I'm not using scissors to cut it because this is quicker, straighter, and easier for me. Okay, so now that we have the base here done and covered, I'm just going to score this so that I can create kind of a fold over page insert. So when you line this up in your scoreboard, the best thing to do is to, or the reference that I have is to make it to score it at 3 1/4. So actually I'm going to flip it over this way, and I'm going to score this at 3 1/4. And then you would fold this over, and now it creates sort of an edge here that's layered, so that you see both sheets. I'm going to go ahead and ink my edges a little bit too. And so on the inside, I'm thinking that I may do some stenciling here, but overall it just is a hidden area where you can do some journaling here. It's left white for that. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that as it is, but I may consider doing some stenciling at a later time. So that one is created. So I did do the other one already, so I'll show you what that looks like. So when I paused my video the last time, I realized that this cover was upside down. And I said, oh no, they've probably been screaming at me as I created this, telling me, your page is upside down, your page is upside. I'm just cutting off this edge because I see it's poking out. Your page is upside down. So I do my best to fix whatever it is, not thinking that it's unfixable. So I pulled it up, turned it the right way, and I also just went ahead and added the eyelet here. As you can see, this is where we punched the original hole, and you can see where we made those, we did those angle cuts on the edges for the tag shape. I'm just going to cover that. I'm going to find something to cover that to make it not noticeable anymore, but I will cover it so that you will not even know that it was there. So I just wanted to point out that fact that the tag may look a little bit different because I did make a mistake there. So we corrected that. So here is the other insert that I created. Same method as I did with this one. Folded it over, ink the edges, and so it will fit inside that right pocket that we created with those two tags. It should go in there, and then it kind of hangs over the edge to give it the layered look. And so then the one that we've just created now would go into the right pocket. And I may have to open it up a little bit with my bone folder just to pull it apart a little bit. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Okay. Just had a little bit of I had to work it out just a little bit more. So now you can see how you have the insert on the left, the insert on the right, inside those pockets that we did with the tags. So you also will remember that you have a pocket up here, up at the top. And for that pocket, I measured a sheet of paper that was 2 5/8 by 5, and I'm just going to do a dry fit just to make sure that it will fit inside, or if I need to cut it down a little bit more before I cover it. And I'm thinking that that looks pretty good. That would be perfect. So I'm going to cover this with another sheet. I have a sheet here, so I'm just going to cover this with that and use that as a another insert for the pocket up top. So let me move the scoreboard out of the way, and then we'll go ahead and work on that together. So I'm just going to cover this with some glue. And center it on here. And I'm going to leave the back white. Again, I may decide to do some stenciling or something on it later, but I'm going to leave the back completely white. So I'm going to cut off these edges so that we can just have it ready to insert into that back pocket that we have. And once again, as soon as I start filming, all the noises in the house just start coming alive. The house comes alive. So I apologize if you hear any background noises. That is just my family. they somehow instinctively become aware that I need the house to be quiet, but they don't want to be quiet. Okay, so I've added that decorative paper on here. I'm just inking those edges so that none of the white shows on the edge. Okay, and that is now ready to be inserted into this back pocket here, like so. So that is the base of it. What I want to do now is I want to add some tags here, a tag here, and then I want to cover this at the bottom. So let me get some decorative bits that I can pull out and to try to decorate this a little bit more, add some ribbon, and then we will be back with the final project. The final product, I should say. So stand by. Let's go ahead and do all of the magic that we do to our projects, and then I will be back to show you the finished product. And here is our completed project for today. So this is the completed tag. As you can see, I have covered up the bottom where that error was that we previously spoke about. I just used some ephemera, cut it out from the papers that were left in the Graphic 45 paper packet. Just use that to decorate the bottom with some lace in the background. I added some seam binding up here with the tag here. I added some pull tabs up at the top here. And again, as you can see, you still have these inserts here that you can pull out. And there's one on the right, and then this is the one on the left that have those journaling spots here. So in pulling out my project or my signature that I had, I kind of was thinking about where I wanted to insert this, and I'm just trying to put this back in. Okay, and I decided that I kind of liked this page. So this was in the signature, and then I just found a page in here that I wanted to use, and this was the page. And so I'm thinking that it would look very nicely just here, housed here, and going against the other page, the opposite page, those reds and those blues coming out together looked really nice. And so that's where I think I will stick this little tag pocket into the journal here. So I also wanted to show you very quickly some of the other ones that I previously completed. It's using a different paper pack, of course, but it's just some ideas of what you can do. So these were some other ones that I worked on and finished. Same design, same idea, with the pockets, with the tag on the front and the pockets on the left and the right, and then you can pull out the inserts here. Same idea, and those secret journaling spots. And then there's one on the right, I'm sorry, on the left here as well. Sometimes I think they get a little stuck, but okay, there we go. And then I pulled it out there like that. And then of course there's these tabs up here, and then I add some seam binding, and then this is the second one. Same idea, lace at the bottom with some enamel dots there too, and the same thing with the pull out tab. So those are the ones I previously worked on, and then this is the one that we completed today. And I hope you guys will give this one a try as well. I apologize, I kind of feel like this video was all over the place, and there was a lot of mishaps and mistakes. So if you are sticking with me to the end of this video, I thank you so very much. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for hanging with me. I appreciate you all so very much. I appreciate this community, and all the kind support that you have continued to give to me, to provide to me, has been amazing and awesome, and I appreciate all of you. So thank you again so very much, and until next time, I will see you soon. Have a great day. Bye.